Levi, a former US Marine elite sniper, was wrestling with post-traumatic stress disorder from claiming human lives from his time in the service. The name surely was not referenced to Levi Ackerman from Attack on Titans. Drasa, a Lithuanian covert operator who we saw on the prologue, was remorseless when gunning down people when she was getting paid. Her sentimental tattles came in the form of a chronically ill father. None of these issues really matter going into the movie, just trying to add more backstory in an otherwise very two-dimensional pair of protagonists. Levi and Drasa were both employed to safeguard a watchtower over a deep and constantly fogging gorge, representing the East and the West like remnants of the Cold War. With very little connective tissues from the Drasa's Eastern Bloc side of things, Levi was given a forewarning of the place which seemed desolated and a relic of past era, and staying there for a full year seems like imprisonment. Living alone in the wilderness with just a tower with a vantage point, and overseeing a scary chasm, our lead characters started to do the forbidden thing and made contact. The promotional poster for the Gorge certainly gave me echoes of Sleepless in Seattle, and for a major part of the movie, it seems like heading into that romantic zone together with yet another high-concept sci-fi feature like the Lake House. So, it seems like a forbidden Cold War romance between operatives from both sides. What does this constitute a horror feature? Well, from the promotional trailer, we could see that there was something ominous lurking in the dark chasm, and there were obvious tropes of a creature feature, and directing-wise was helmed by a modern horror master in Scott Derrickson. The real treat of the movie was hooking young men who had spent days or weeks immersing in first-person shooting games, gunning down hordes of enemies with artillery you could ever dream of. Seeing Levi and Drasa unleashing their futuristic Gatling guns on those deformed creatures who were speedily climbing up the arduous slope of the gorge, adrenaline was pumping. A screenplay written by Zach Dean, who wrote the two-parters of Fast X and another high-concept sci-fi action thriller, The Tomorrow War. The basic premise of the Gorge, I would admit, was intriguing, and with the promise of the unknown creatures, it would pique interest in horror fans for sure. There was never in doubt that our protagonists would ever explore the perilous terrains of the Gorge, and the triggering factor was not clunky as well. With these creatures very much inspired by popular intellectual properties like The Last of Us and Stranger Things, the duo stumbled into a world that was populated by what people might term as cryptids, and the movie starting to resemble Alex Garland's Annihilation for me, literally going down the rabbit hole, which matched with an inside joke between Levi and Drasa. The duo unraveled the secret behind this location, as well as the origin of the creatures and the dire need to hold fort of the Gorge in the most secretive manner, and why only one individual was employed on either side rather than a whole contingent of armed security, and also gave us audience a clue the ultimate fate of operatives at the end of their tenure. There were some beautiful visuals which you can see the production budget Apple Studio had poured in. With the success of Doctor Strange in 2016, which highlighted that director Scott Derrickson could easily melt blockbuster level film production in the sci-fi action genre with mythical supernatural theme Derrickson is well known of, and with the financial success of his adaptation of Joe Hill's The Black Phone in 2022, Scott Derrickson is a bona fide Hollywood director these days. Derrickson began his full-length directorial career with a straight-to-DVD sequel to Hellraiser titled Inferno back in 2000. Then, he wrote and directed The Exorcism of Emily Rose in 2005, which was loosely based on the ordeals of one Anne Lise Mitchell. He next went in the sci-fi genre with The Day the Earth Stood Still, starring Keanu Reeves in 2008, a remake of the 1951 original film. Both films cemented Derrickson as a director that could make profits with his features, and follow up with 2012's Sinister, which put him on the pedestal as one of the horror movie directors to watch out for. Between Sinister and Doctor Strange, Derrickson made Deliver Us from Evil in 2014, starring Eric Bana and Edgar Ramirez, which was a sleeper hit among horror fans. Most recently, Derrickson contributed Dreamkill in VHS 85, do check out my review for it, and later in 2025, The Black Phone 2 is slated to be released, making the year a bountiful one for the director. I feel that Derrickson was a storyteller with a horror film perspective was always going to deliver, and it was evident here as well. But horror elements in the Gorge were being balanced out with the romantic angle and the action set pieces. This was also why the most enjoyable part for me was the exploration within the Gorge itself. High cheekbones, Anya Taylor-Joy will always be remembered as the maligned girl from Robert Eggers' The Witch. It always feels icky to see these child actors all grown up and be sexualized. Pairing up with Miles Teller, another actor with a very punchable face, especially when he was prone to play obnoxious character, I felt the chemistry was coarse, especially the physical side of things. Truth to be said, Teller's Levi was not as unlikable as compared to many of his previous characters. At this point, casting Sigourney Weaver in a role of authority in a high-concept sci-fi thriller could be a bit of a passe, yet Weaver's charisma shone through naturally. In conclusion, The Gorge is a competently made sci-fi horror feature. With an interesting premise, and even at a runtime of 127 minutes, I felt that there are things that could still be explored, and I hope to get more into the action. Perhaps we can cut off the fats from those mating procession between Levi and Drusilla. Usually doing less might be able to achieve more. As highlighted, this was a movie that appeased the gamer contingent out there, and Derrickson dexterously infused the horror element and generated sufficient tension when it matters. This is a 7 out of 10 for me. As usual, don't forget to click a like for this review and share it if you can. For anyone who chanced upon this review, please subscribe to my channel for more horror movie reviews from yours truly. Preceding this review was a double bill on the recent Werewolves features in Stephen C. Miller's Werewolves and Lee Whannell's Wolfman. If anyone was to engage my service to safeguard a gun tower on my own, they better provide me a stable Wi-Fi service, hot showers, lifetime supply of craft dinner, PlayStation 5, lifetime supply of Spotify, Netflix, Prime Video, Apple TV+, HBO Max, Disney+.